I know as we already been chatting and talking, so many, you had your friends and family that have joined that already, they already know who you are, Miss Linda. I know that you're in the area of Hookerton, North Carolina, and
Correct.
you're a wife. Yeah, you're a wife, mother, grandmother, cancer survivor, and a now included member. But would you just take a moment to introduce yourself to the community and tell us
Uh,
about yourself?
First of all, Rose, I want to thank you. Is indeed an honor and a pleasure, plus a privilege to be here and able to give my story. Like I told you before, this is not going to be a technical, on cancer or anything. It's just my personal life story, to hopefully encourage and get folks to, get for to preventive health care. That's my main goal. No matter what type of cancer it is, I believe prevention and early detection is the key. As you said before, my wife, mother, grandmother, we are moms, women, we're major caregivers and caretakers for our family. And sometimes, not sometimes, most times, we put ourselves on the back burner. So that's what I did. To make a very long story short, I was on my family reunion trip. At the beginning of the year in 2017, I know that my health, I wasn't feeling right in my body. And that was the beginning of the year in 2017. In the end part of maybe June, early part of July, I wasn't feeling well. So I put it off. And then on the family reunion trip, I felt really, really bad. I didn't want to cancel, to ruin the trip for everybody else. So I went. So after I got back and went to work, I told my supervisor, I said, look, I know I just been on my family reunion trip, but I really, really feel bad. I've been feeling bad for a while. So I made an appointment with my primary doctor, caregiver doctor, Dr. Baker here in Hookerton. Shout out to Dr. Baker. He immediately saw my problem. I thought I had pulled a muscle in my chest, and it never went away. It was there for maybe 3 months, and it never went away. And I said, I really have to see something about this. It started really, really small, and then it got more defined as the month lingered on. The months lingered on. He made me an appointment immediately because he went to examine it. He said, well, it's moving around, so I don't think it's cancer, but I want to make sure. So I'm sending you to get that biopsy. So I went and had it biopsy in July. That same month to Eastern Radiology. And they looked at it because my last mammogram, they did a mammogram. And then when they saw the mammogram, they immediately did a biopsy. Because my last mammogram was in Dr. Knuckles' office. And back in 2012, I had insurance. I had Blue Cross Blue Shield then. And so when I changed jobs, so at this job here, there was no insurance. They didn't provide insurance. I didn't have any insurance. So yeah, I was self-pay, which was very, very expensive. It easily dwindled down your savings or even your paycheck when you're trying to get these things done. So they did a biopsy at Eastern Radiology. I went to, was immediately made an appointment to go to Leo Jenkins in Greenville, North Carolina. There's where my sisters met me because the doctor called me in, they had the results back. Funny thing is when I got there at Leo Jenkins, the girl, my daughter drove me and my sisters met me there. The girl gave me a parking sticker for a year. I said, well, I don't need it for a year. Well, she said, ma'am, that's, that's protocol. That's the way we do things. Not thinking that, that I'm be going this place for a while here. So when we got in to see Dr. Musafer, she told me, she said, well, here's the technical term. She said that I had a malignant neoplasm of the upper inner quadrant of my right breast.
Wow.
And then she said, I'm sorry, Miss Jones, you do have cancer. And I heard her and I did hear her and I looked around the room. My daughter looked devastated. My sisters were in shock. And then I easily composed myself. I said, well, what did you say? She said, I'm sorry, you have the cancer. I have cancer. And I said, I thought for a second, I heard what she said. And I said, well, what do we have to do? What is your plan for me? What we have to do to combat this? I need to go to war with this.
Right. I know it was I can't even imagine how you must have felt, just receiving that news. And it's a mouthful to hear, and then just saying you have cancer. I can't imagine. I know that it took a minute for you to process that, I do want to backtrack and ask you, like, how long did you experience the symptoms before, you actually went to the doctor?
Like I said, it was the beginning of the year in 2017. I know something was going on with my body. I just felt it because I felt more and more fatigued. I could do something and, and I knew something wasn't right. But, I soldiered through it and, and just went on with my life.
Right. Right. No, I mean, you're really brave. I can't even, like I said, I can't imagine hearing, those words that you have cancer. And like I shared with you before, in us talking, I was a mom of a child that had cancer, and I know how rough that was, and going to those doctor's appointments and, hearing those reports and how much of a blow it be to you. What kind of support system, Denise is asking, what kind of support system did you have, visiting the doctor and during this time?
Oh, I had tremendous support. I had support of my family, my daughter, my sons who took me to the doctor appointment. My daughter took me to most of my doctor appointment. Even my sister-in-law, Brenda, took me on a few. My husband had the support also, so that let him, be able to go to work and able to support me, and pay the bills, because it's devastating when you go from a 2-income household to a 1 household income, and he held down the fort.
What was your family's, what was their response to hearing, this news? Because, it sounds like you were, you're the matriarch. You told me several times how you're the oldest. And so I hear that sense of responsibility and knowing that you're a caregiver and mom of 5 and grandchildren. Like, how did they respond to this?
Well, they at the doctor's office, when she gave me the news, I looked around and looked at my sisters and my daughter, and I said, well, I can't fall apart, and I won't fall apart, because if I do, they will. So I put a lot of faith, in God's word.
Now, it's my understanding that you have nurses in the family.
I have 2 nurses in the family. Yes, my sister, Denise King.
Yeah.
I even have my brother-in-law. Her husband is a RN. I think he even got his bachelor's. He's help me out, Denise, BSN. He has his bachelor, and my sister, Glenda, is a nurse also.
Okay.
So I had tremendous, support, when I'm getting these technical things from the doctor, and they will explain, exactly, what they're saying. So they were a good asset. My sister Celeste, she gave me support. Also, she was always encouraging, always praying.
Right.
Brothers.
And Denise said it's RNBSN.
Okay.
She's helping you out in the chat. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Denise. She's in the chat helping her sister out. So,
Okay, all
so
right. See
what
what
was,
kind of support I have?
oh yeah, oh yeah. They listen, they right here. They right here. So, and that's good. That's so wonderful. That's so
It's so
sweet.
key when ones are going through cancer. It
Yeah.
is majorly important. Even driving me to my doctor appointments, because I've been be so tired after the chemo treatments and everything, was a tremendous relief. So anybody who's going through cancer, please try to find somebody or a family friend or someone to drive you. You don't know how much you need to not concentrate on driving, getting back and forth to the appointments.
Absolutely.
Because that takes a lot of you also, maneuvering in traffic.
Right, to have that support system. So
Yeah.
when after receiving this diagnosis, from the doctor, like what was his treatment options like? Did he prescribe chemotherapy, radiation? Did he offer clinical trials?
I wasn't offered any clinical trial, but my major thing that they did for me was, immediately put me on chemo treatment. I think maybe a week after my, well, not even a week, they put in a port where I could get my chemo in.
Right.
So I started 6 months of rigorous chemotherapy because I had 2 large masses. And they were about 2 centimeters. So the kind of cancer that I had was a bit aggressive because it already had spread to my lymph nodes.
Oh, okay, right. Because you did say it was stage 4, right?
Stage 3.
Oh,
Heading to
stage 3.
stage 4.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So if I put it off any longer, I might have would have got that diagnosis of stage 4, which would have been, grave.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that that you guys caught it while at the stage that it was at. So I know you just described like what your treatment, your treatment process was like, but what was it like after your treatments?
After my
Because you want to.
treatments, yeah, after my treatments, because I was given 4 chemo drugs, in stages. They had different stages that I had, the chemo treatment.
Right. Okay.
And one of those drugs were called Taxol or Taxotere, which when you're getting chemo, our community, we call it the Red Devil.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
after that Red Devil,
yeah, it's
you are just like a dish rag. I mean, a wet dishcloth. You are just so limp, you're so tired. I was, and a lot of ones are really, really tired after the treatment.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. It is that high intense chemo. It does.
Yes.
It hits pretty hard.
It does.
And you guys, I mean, some of you are already putting questions in the chat. Feel free if you have questions for Ms. Linda, just place them here in the chat. She's already expressed to me that she's more than willing, to provide whatever advice or to share, answer any questions that she can. So place your questions in the chat, and Ms. Linda, she's more than willing to answer them. So one of the things that we talked about, Ms. Linda, just you and I, just talking about the mental challenges, that you go through once you're diagnosed, with, any type of illness, but especially a terminal illness. Talk about like some of the challenges that you faced and how you dealt with it.
Okay. If we'll back up just a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
After my chemo treatment, Dr. Bora, she scheduled me for surgery to remove the tumors that I had, and that was back in December 2017, and that's where I had a partial mastectomy, and also a dissection of my lymph node because they were cancerous also. And after that, that surgery, sometimes you get problems after, and my problem after is what I have lymphedema. I don't know if you guys can see my arm. I'm trying to position it where you can see it.
Yeah, we
I
see
have,
it good.
well, it's called lymphedema. It's very, very painful. I'm on gabapentin for it, and I take 3 pills a day, 600 milligrams for the pain. It's something, you know, that I had to be done in order to save my life. And with the lymph nodes, I wrote a little note about what lymph nodes are. What they do is trap, you know, they catch. My lymph node did the job, is what I'm trying to say, because what it did was catch that cancerous,
Oh,
that
okay.
cancer that was growing, that was spreading, because my cancer, it was malignant and it was spreading, and my lymph node did the job. So that's why I had, you know, she had to remove all my lymph nodes. And with the lymph nodes, what it does is, and Denise can help me out in the chat with those, because like I said,
Yeah.
I'm not too technical with this.
No, it's okay.
What it does is,
Okay.
you know, it catches the fluid, and now that I have to keep my arm compressed to do the job that my lymph node was doing, it doesn't do it successfully because of all the swelling. But she did what she had to do in order to save my life, and that was one of the life-saving things that happened in my surgery. And after I had the surgery to remove the tumors, I had the radiation treatment. And I took radiation for about 32 days. Going back and forth, I had to go every day, and my daughter drove me every day faithfully for 32 days. Kiniqua, we call her Nikki, drove me 32 days in order to get that radiation. And then after radiation, he put me on a pill for a chemo pill.
Okay.
For to help make sure that cancer didn't come back. So I was on those pills. And I was very, very nauseous for a long time going through the treatment. That's another thing. What it gives you, makes you nauseous. Yeah. And I say nauseous a lot. And that, getting into your question about the emotional health.
Right.
Emotionally, it was draining for me. It really was. Yeah, I mean, I was losing ones that were going to cancer treatments with me. I lost a very, very dear friend to pancreatic cancer with tumor. So I have what you call survivor's guilt, and I'm not a one. My family's in the chat, and they know I'm not one to break down anything. But I found myself getting very, very depressed. I was just bursting out crying for no reason. So I know I needed help. So I went to my primary care doctor, and he told me I was going through depression. And he gave me a depressive medication to take, and I'm still on it. So don't be afraid, you know, to ask for emotional help, emotional support, because that's key. And that's one thing that's overlooked, even through the doctors community, about helping ones who go through cancer.
Oh, yeah.
With it. I have a very, very community in the at Vida here in Greenville, where I had most of my treatments and everything done. So they were on it, and they were Liz at the Vida. She was key and on that also about helping me with things to do about my emotional health.
Yes, I'm so glad that you had the support in that area, because, you know, we, like, as we talked before, you know, sometimes in the African American community, we don't talk about mental health, and we can look down on therapy and counseling and stuff like that. But it is real. It's a real thing, and
it's real, just as real as cancer.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm glad that you know, got the help that you needed. It doesn't mean that you're weak. You know, it means that you're strong.
By no means.
Yeah, it means that you're strong, and I applaud you for taking care of yourself.
But now I'm cancer free.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
2019 that I'm cancer free.
And that's what I was going to ask, like, how long do you go through those treatments, and how long was it before, after receiving all the treatments that you did, you know, when did you hear that you were cancer free? You know,
I heard that I was cancer free. I went to my scheduled mammogram. Please, lady, schedule your mammograms yearly to go get those done. So it was after my mammogram in 2017. And I took my mammogram in October. So after my results came back, I went immediately. They made me an appointment to come back, and that's when Liz told me I was cancer free.
Oh man! And congratulations again.
Thank
And
you.
I know I've told you several times, but
Mhm.
it is that is much to be applauded, and it's such a blessing. And congratulations on
Thank you
that.
so
And
much.
one of the things that I love that came out of this is you say that you're an advocate now. Talk about that.
Yeah, I am an advocate for preventive care
Right.
before things get really out of whack. If you feel something that's going wrong in your body, we women, we have good intuition about that.
Mm-hmm.
That something's going wrong. Don't put it off. Self-care is so important. Taking care of yourself, because if you get down and can't take care of yourself because of illness or something like that, it affects the whole family. It really does. We women, we're powerful.
Yes, absolutely.
We're much
Absolutely.
needed in the family unit. Not
Absolutely.
to say men are not, because I'm so glad that you're having your men help clinic tomorrow, Rose.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
want every guy to be up there, and every wife or every partner to be up there to see that, to help men with their help, because they're crucial in the family unit to
Absolutely.
make sure that
Absolutely.
they're taking care of their health also.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely. I'm excited about that for tomorrow as well. So we have a couple of questions and statements in the chat. One of the questions is, did you go to support groups?
I didn't go. I was supposed to start before the pandemic, and then the bad pandemic happened. So that kind of like, push everything back, because I'm having my lymph nodes and removed. That's crucial, to your immune system also. So I have a low immune system.
Okay.
So since, everything is letting up, I'm going to start my first support group in October. I'm still going to be masked up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I'll start my first one in October.
Okay. And then we have Richard. Richard just wanted to say that it was very devastating to him. This your brother, right? Correct?
Right. My Irish twin. Which
So
means
he
we
said
were
it was
born
very.
in the same year.
Oh, okay. He said it was very.
I was born in
devastating.
February. He was born in December.
Right. And he said that he just felt helpless and, questioned everything because his beautiful sister is a saint and should not suffer through this type of suffering. And he also just said, God don't make any mistakes. I don't need pity. He said, I need prayer. So
Yeah.
he's supporting you in the chat.
Thank you.
We thank you,
Love
Rick,
you.
so much. And then he also wanted to say, don't forget about self breast examinations. He wanted to
Yes,
remind,
thank you, Rick.
he wanted to remind us, the women, about the mammogram. So,
Also men. Men.
oh yeah,
When
absolutely.
you have that in your family with women, make sure men can have breast cancer also.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And thank you for pointing that out. So what are some of the things that you've done in regards to advocacy? Do you just, like talking to as many women as possible, kind of letting them know, educating them?
My major thing is through Facebook. When I don't just normally, say something about that during, breast cancer awareness month, but all through the year I may post something. Now included community, I have posted there. So please join Now Included if you have not, and Rose can tell you how to do that.
Oh yeah.
And by speaking with women, my family, the women, making sure they're getting their mams. Have you taken your mam? Have you scheduled an appointment for your mammogram? So it's very important. Yeah, I'm a complete advocate. I'm a staunch believer in preventive healthcare.
Oh yeah. And Miss Linda Jones, if you're watching, Miss Linda Jones is in the Now Included community. And like she said, she's made herself available. So you can feel free to ask her any questions. You can message her. This video will be reposted in the community. You can, you know, tag her name and ask your questions there. So she's made herself available for any questions that you may have.
Yeah, please.
So Miss Linda, what advice would you give, you know, to women, you know, if you could make 3 points or 2 points, you know, what advice would you give us in regards to our health?
That's a very good question, Rose. Number one, like I said before, you have to do self-care. When you feel like something going wrong in your body, please do not put it off. Go to your primary care doctor, and don't let, because a lot of us don't have healthcare, Rose. I didn't have healthcare when I started.
Right. I remember you telling me.
Yeah, there are things in your community center, help centers. They have free screenings. Just don't put it off. There are things out there in your community that can help you. I say number two, make sure that, you know, you let somebody know, you know, that you're having problems. Let your spouse know, let your children know, you know, your adult children, let them know that something is going wrong so they can rally behind you too and research things and help you also to get that care you need. And third is faith. You have to have faith. Put your faith in God. He will never, ever, ever fail you. Just have faith. And the Bible is key. Get into your Bible and read. Those scriptures are healing when you get into your Bible and read.
Absolutely. And we have one question in the chat. It says, what religious decision did you have to face any religious decisions throughout your journey?
I did not have to face any, but I am a Jehovah's Witness. And when I had my surgery, I had to have, you know, whether or not I want blood. Of course, the answer was no. Acts 5, 28, 29. It's a scriptural point for that. But I didn't have that. The surgeon that I had was excellent. I explained everything to her about bloodless surgery, and she was key. So if you're, there are people who are not witnesses who won't take blood. So there are things out there now, and bloodless surgery it's almost becoming the norm now, because we have so much with this COVID going on and everything, and with the donation of blood, you don't know who has what. So bloodless surgery has really become a very, very primary way of doing surgery now.
Oh yeah. I even now, and on another note before we end, I wanted to bring up about your town did a news article on you. Tell us about that. How did that come about?
Yeah. Yes, they did. A sister of mine of the faith, who's also a witness, she worked for our local newspaper, the St. Laconia, and she found out that I was going through that and see if I would want to do a newspaper article, about my breast cancer journey. And I immediately said yes. And she was like surprised because a lot of people don't want to tell anybody what's going on for them. I always say, if you don't tell somebody what's going on you, how they gonna know to pray for you? And I had tremendous support from this newspaper article here. I don't know if you can see it because of, my green screen, but it was a wonderful article to get out preventive health care to the community in my own community. So I was very, very, very happy about that.
Oh man, that's awesome. And we can even share that in the community.
Yes, please do.
And get snapshots of it, put it in the community and share. Thank you so much, Miss Linda, for your time. I thank you so much for the transparency and you sharing your story here with Now Included. Thank you so much. Thank all of you who have attended. And hey, we'll see you in the community.
Again, join Now Included.
Yes.
My sister Denise even has a community. They're also called the Reality of Healthcare. Please go there and join. I don't know if she can put it in, the chat where people can see it, where she can actually go in and join Reality of Healthcare. great community. Now included is dbomb.com when it
Yes,
comes
is.
to getting things out there to our community about healthcare.
Yes, and we'll continue to be here and be there for one another. So we will.
So
see
thank you,
all.
Tiffany.
Oh yeah, look, shout out to Tiffany. But thank you so much, and we'll see you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
All right. See you later, Rose. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.